Today's AskReddit post. What is something you quit as a kid and now wish you continued? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. Staying in shape. Luckily this is one you can start any day. You'll see results in just weeks of you keep at it. Drawing. Came to post the same thing. I had a gift and let it rust. I wonder if we all just thought we were good at drawing when in reality we came to our senses. I felt like I was decent at drawing, but then I see posts on here from amazing artists. I actually kind of hate our drawing for that. There's posts like I'm 13 and this is my first attempt at drawing a portrait picture of a photo quality drawing. Where's the I suck at drawing? But here's the first face I drew that didn't make me vomit uncontrollably. Subreddits. That's a great idea. Actually, make a subreddit for amateur artists to post their work. I'd totally post there considering I'm still not good at drawing. Though I do enjoy drawing and seeing other amateur art. Reading books. I would get so absorbed into them and I was doing well in school due to it. I regret stopping it. I had the same thing. Once I was forced to read, it was less fun. But I just told myself one day that I'm gonna read for 10 minutes before bed each night, and also installed an app called Streaks to remind myself and track that I read. Almost 2 years in, I've only missed maybe 10-15 days of reading. The first hurdle though is getting back into it. Try reading a book you loved as a kid. It'll be a nice, easy read and will bring you right back. Track and field. I found out later in life that I love running. It's annoying that most track meets are geared towards youth. Not everyone finds road racing enjoyable, suitable to their body type, cost effective. Fortunately there are a lot of meets open to older athletes. You just have to be okay doing it for your own purposes. Doesn't matter how the other athletes, much older and much younger, are performing in your heat. You're doing this for you. I used to write stories constantly. I got discouraged when a family member I looked up to told me they were silly and no one would ever buy them. But when I was a kid all I wanted to be was an author. Now I'm 40 and have had writer's block for decades. Edit. You all are an encouraging bunch. Thank you. Sincerely. And for those struggling along with me, I know it's not easy. I hope we all succeed in getting that magic back. Dang, that sucks. I don't think adults sometimes realize how devastating their words can be to kids. I would encourage you to try picking it up again for fun. No pressure, free writing. Maybe you can reopen your creative vault. I'm a firm believer that creativity can be buried, but never fully destroyed. Do it for just you though, not for others or for the purposes of get published. Just learn to imagine again, and give yourself that freedom. But again, no pressure. Thank you for this. You're welcome. Blessings. Piano. I'm competent at other instruments, but I wish I had kept up with it. So versatile. Definitely this. And all because my mom was such hard-ass disciplinarian about it. I really liked it at first and was really good. And eventually it basically became a punishment. You will come directly home from school and you will play that damn piano, and by the time I get home if that song isn't perfect you can forget about the sleepover Saturday. There were nights that I'd be sitting there in tears, shaking, terrified because a song I was assigned was too difficult, and my mom would be there screaming in my ear what a lazy embarrassment I was. In my early teens I was given the choice to keep going or not, and it was the easiest decision I ever made. Thanks for ruining a healthy hobby and the lifetime of anxiety, Mom. Oh, I'm so sorry you had that experience. That is no good way to get a kid into some hobby. I'm sorry that your mom didn't understand that. That's basically the experience of every Asian kid. You have to become proficient at an instrument and your parents will choose whether it's piano or violin. You have to be proficient in everything. Even if you somehow are, it's never enough. Sad, pensive face. Ballet. It was a good form of exercise, Girl Scouts. It might have taught me to better manage my anger issues. Ice skating. Again. Good exercise. I used to dance, now I can't even move from my bed, Mayo. Being confident. As a child, I had my head held high and cannot be bullied by anyone because I was so comfortable and acceptable of myself. current me is so marred with teenage emotional scars and issues that I can barely see my younger self in me anymore. Edit. I have struck a chord to a lot of people. Sorry for calling you out with this LOL. But on a serious note, thank you for the encouragement and kind words. I am in a way better place compared to 10-12 years ago. I hope everyone also gets the closure we deserve. If not, I hope everyone knows that they're not alone in the journey. Me too. I'm still relatively young, 22 in a couple weeks. But damn, I used to be confident as duck. Now I get social anxiety and can't approach people first without choking on my words. Same here. I couldn't even look at them straight in the eye. I even have to think if my voice was too strained, or if I used the right words because I might offend them. Swimming. My mom took me out as soon as I was puberty aged because she doesn't know how tampons work, and honestly she's a little afraid of them, but I miss being in the water. Oh man. I did swimming from 7th 12th grade and loved it for a while until I started hating it due to personal circumstances and circumstances around the team. Wish I could still feel excited about getting in a pool. Trying to make as much money as possible. I quit doing it for my sanity when I became an adult. Now I have no money and no sanity. I think balance is the most important thing. I know people who work themselves to death and never have time to spend their hard-earned cash. I try to work hard, but I set limits so that I keep mentally and financially healthy. Saxophone. It was a cool instrument. Keep it sexy. Collecting coins. Nowadays I'm back to it though, but I wish I had accumulated them through the years. When I was young, my great uncle taught me about coin collecting. I was always trying to find a rare coin or a cool fact that was unknown to him. One of the last times I saw him, I was able to teach him about the little P or D found on American quarters that represented where the coin was minted. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and the rare S for San Francisco. I tear up thinking about it now. There's actually W quarters now and they're pretty valuable. Fun fact for ya. Ooh. I'll have to look out. Thanks. No prob. I used to stream in the early days of Twitch and got around 20-30 viewers. Always wondered where I would be if I didn't stop. Damn, 20-30 viewers is actually really good. I know there are a lot of good streamers out there who typically have none, and I always look up to them for grinding it out. The current problem is market saturation. You either have to be famous, playing a niche game, or really funny to be new and get views. Edit. Or really good at a competitive game. What about wearing a wig and glasses? There is a vacancy for that at the moment. Reading full books in a day. This is so underrated. I've read about 650 pages of sci-fi books in the last 2 weeks because I finally decided to just sit down and read them. It's still not enough though. And I have like another 2,000-3,000 pages that I want to read over the weekends when I have a chance. Reading a book in one day is such a privilege, and one of the only great things to come out of this pandemic. Taking care of my teeth. I neglected my dental health a lot during my childhood teenage years, and as an adult I very much regret it. I am in this boat as well, and root canals and caps crowns are cheap. Same. I've already spent $10k on root canals and caps. Some of it is the lack of dental care earlier in life, but most of it is just shit genetics. Oh hey, it's my reflection. Drawing comics. I was quite good at it until I got sad. Draw some sad but very relatable comics. Thanks for the advice, I never thought about that. Not being socially awkward. I don't think I ever was not socially awkward. I just wasn't fully aware of it until puberty. Same. Giving a shit about what people think of me. Can't stop caring of others' perspective of me anymore. And I literally preach self-love, yet I struggle to love myself. Same. I find it so easy to tell that to other people about self-love and genuinely mean it. However, I can't seem to accept the same message for myself. Ice hockey. It just sucks how expensive it is to keep a growing kid geared up when they need new equipment every 6 months. That's not why I quit. I quit because I wasn't really enjoying it, but now I realize that I probably would have ended up enjoying it more. Story time. I, 21M, quit when I was around 10. I just picked it back up a year and a half ago. Currently going into my senior year and will be trying out for my school's hockey team. Just get back into it. Most local rinks have men's leagues and you never really forget how to skate. Guitar. I put it down after a decade of playing. Wasn't a kid, and now I suck at it. I would have thought that guitar would be muscle memory to a degree, especially after a decade of playing. I have no problem playing 90% of what I already knew, but it just comes out as a sloppy mess. Imagine going a decade without driving a car. You wouldn't forget how to drive, but when you got behind the wheel you'd feel really uncomfortable and reluctant. Edit. I play drums and have guitars sitting around the house, so I still pick one up every few months to remind myself how much I suck. Ever heard of Rocksmith? If I sat down and gave it a couple weeks practice, I'd be right back to normal. I don't need to be retaught the concepts. Just get back into the routine. Once I started playing drums, I just had so much more enjoyment from it. I put the guitars down. They'll all be given to my son soon enough. Playing basketball. Hey man, I got a ball and a hoop in the driveway. I'd love to shoot around with you after work. Deleted. Dude, I'd be my honor to school your ass. In your friend's honor. I'm sorry he was lost. He can ref us from the other side. Deleted. Saying number. Apparently I was quite an obstructive child who made every task very difficult. Never a fussy eater, but doing things with me was generally a battle of wills, I am told. Now in my late 30s and with kids, I find I no longer say no when people ask something of me. It doesn't hurt me in my personal life, because the people I help have earned the support. I'm constantly getting burned in my professional life though, as I watch others reap the rewards of the results of my effort. You know how you tell your kids no to things so that they have a protective nest built out of rules? You need that too. Saying no did not hurt your children, and it will not hurt your friends or colleagues. Studying Russian. I was taught both languages from birth because my father was raised in Moscow, but I stopped using it as frequently when I was about 7 or 8. I can still make basic conversation and do just fine, but I struggle with grammar because I didn't pick it up again until sophomore year of high school. I feel you. My entire family speaks Russian and I was brought up with English and Russian, speaking somewhat complex sentences. But at the age of 12 something just happened and I've been too embarrassed to speak near them ever since. As a result, I often forget basic nouns though I'm relearning grammar. Edit. Grammar. I quit singing and voice lessons because my choir teacher was blatantly playing favorites and it was starting to make me depressed. People in my class who sat through my auditions and even one of the girls from the group I auditioned for would compliment me on my voice, but I never got picked for anything. My voice coach, that my teacher suggested I go see, tried to keep me from quitting, but after auditioning for things for all 4 years in high school and getting rejected over and over, I just didn't have it in me anymore. Dang, I'm really sorry to hear that. And the fact that you kept persevering for 4 years shows how much you loved it. Adults that kids look up to or who have authority, or both, like your teacher, don't realize how many dreams they're crushing. Or maybe they do and couldn't care less. Either way, you deserve better. And I hope you get your chance if that spark ever lights up in you again. Sports overall. Because I was shy. Now I'm shy and weak, so me too. Except it was just me being lazy and the eternal shyness was just a bonus. I did various kinds of dance and track. I was running 5Ks as a 12-year-old. Now just going up more than 2 flights of stairs is a challenge. Being happy. Was about to comment that. Failure. Singing. I have good tone and in the 7th grade hit low notes and high notes easily for my choir audition test, with no training. Same. I did choir up until I graduated high school. Up until recently I never had the opportunity to further it until I met up with a classmate from choir competing on a national scale. They mentioned about trying out, but with college and full-time work I don't think I could possibly schedule it. I took piano lessons from 6 years old until I was about 13. Then I just sort of stopped. I didn't plan it, just got busy with other things. I used to be able to play some cool pieces from memory, now pretty sure I would struggle through chopsticks. It's never too late to start again. I teach piano and I've taught adults before. I actually really enjoy teaching adults. They are way more honest about their practice time, haha. And I don't care. You are playing piano for you, not for me. My expectations are you are getting what you want out of your lessons. You progress how you want to and I'll help you find ways to enjoy playing. Going outside, eating healthy. Dancing and vaulting. Equestrian vaulting or gymnastic vaulting. Taekwondo. I was at my most flexible then, and have suffered from extreme inflexibility ever since I stopped. I was almost a black belt maybe 5 years ago, and I stopped right before I got recommended. Me, a 13-year-old Reddit, learning from others' bad decisions. Yes, if you ever find something you enjoy, do it. Don't let others put you down. Don't worry so much about what others think. You are your own person, with your own life experiences. Don't be afraid to go out and do the things you want to do. Collecting stuff. I used to collect random shiny rusted objects that I found on road or a garage. I stopped collecting stuff when I went to college, but I restarted last year. However, my collection is quite small. I wonder what cool things I could have collected if I had continued. I too used to collect random rusty and shiny stuff. Still have my childhood collection. The plans for my Lego animatronic Angry Bird Transformers. Just after high school, a girl talked me into volunteering as a firefighter with her to go on medical calls. I was pre-med at the time. She moved away before we got in, but I did it for a few years and loved the fire side just as much as the medical. Then life intervened and I moved away for college and ended up going a different IT than into project management. Just recently I was able to work remotely, pre-COVID, and since my wife wanted horse property we moved out pretty rural, still good internet. One of the upsides, another being cost of living while making city salary, was that I could volunteer again. I had forgotten just how much fun being a firefighter is. Over the last year and a half I have gotten my structural firefighting 1/2, wildland firefighting 1/2, EMT license, hazmat A&O, and vehicle rescue tech cert. If I could go back, I would have dropped all the school and IT stuff and just gone paramedic firefighter. I wouldn't have made as much money, but would have a good retirement and just a really rewarding career. I'm a volunteer firefighter EMT. I have my vehicle rescue, hazmat, etc. And damn do I love it. I've been dealing with a chronic condition for almost 2 years now that's kept me out. Cannot wait until the first day I'm back. Drawing. Since I was pretty good for my age and drew all the time, but I quit because I found out I was colorblind. Skateboarding. I practiced 2 hours every day on the kickflip and ollie for weeks, and despite getting better and almost accomplishing a kickflip I quit. Many years later I found out the board I used was heavy board that was mainly used for transportation, not tricks. I used to ride horses really well. I was very natural on horseback and it was really the only sport I was ever any good at. But it's very much a rich person's hobby, so I just couldn't afford it as I got older. I'm thinking about going back to it though. There's a place near me that teaches horseback archery and that just seems like the coolest hobby in the world. Go for it. I had to stop riding after high school, but came back to the sport when I was 26. My coach had a few adult amateurs and we would compete at small local shows, get together and train as a group outside of lessons. It was so fantastic for my social life and exercise. Dancing. I had really good abs when I did it, even though I hated it. I like to think it would have grown on me. Edit. Just thought of this. But also piano. I was really good for my age and it definitely could have gotten me far. I just got bored of it, I guess. And I also didn't have time to balance practicing it and my sport. I play another instrument, but I'm not nearly as good considering my age. Piano and Spanish lessons. I did 3 years of Spanish and the lessons never did stick, so I don't even know a lick of Spanish. My dad makes fun of me all the time by telling people she took 3 years of Spanish and doesn't know any Spanish. I went with a friend to Europe a few years back and he had taken like 9 years of French from middle school through college. We drive through France and he can't speak more than a few phrases. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.